Alright, so in the previous video we talked about what is structured data, and in this section or in this video we're going to talk about what is unstructured data. Now this unstructured data can be thought of as data that is not actively managed in a transactional system, or you can say relational database management system, or for example data that doesn't live in relational database management system is called RDBMS. And structured data can be thought of records in a database management, for example rows in a table of SQL databases. Now you must be a little bit confused, right? So like if you just look for like 30,000 square feet view, you can simply say that the data which resides in RDBMS is structured data, and the data which cannot be stored in RDBMS, that can be considered as unstructured data. But to be honest with you, the problem with unstructured data is that you cannot bound that data with schema. You cannot define, because data keeps on changing, data keeps on having multiple parameters, and that's why you cannot define them in certain rows and columns. Data keeps on changing, and when I give you the types of unstructured data, you will identify that okay, now I get it, why I cannot define that first name will always be coming over here, or the second name will always be coming over here, and why people choose to even deal with unstructured data. So if you just look for unstructured data, what are the types of unstructured data? So web pages, images, videos, memes, reports, Word documents, PowerPoint presentations, surveys, or the click stream data which is coming, or the web stream data which is coming over there, and then people who are searching for different stuff, voice, records, like the audio files and the URLs, and then n number of things. Anything is unstructured, and everything is unstructured unless you can align schema to it. If you cannot align schema to it, that data is unstructured data, which means that if I cannot align schema with unstructured data, it means that I cannot put that data into RDBMS, because RDBMS says schema on write, which means schema on write means that you need to write the schema first before you enter the data, right? So we define the table first, and then we start putting the data into it. However, unstructured data is something which follows schema on read. You keep on storing the data, and once you double click on it, it will ask you for, okay, in what format you want me to open that up, right? Very much like your systems, right? For example, if I have a 4K movie and I say, and hey, buddy, would you like to see this movie? And you said yes, why not? And I would say this movie is approximately 45 GB, but you need to download a specific player for that. And you take that movie from me, and then you say, you double click on it, and it says, how do you want me to open that movie? And it gives you several options, like would you like me to open up with VLC media player, or Windows media player, or with a text pad or notepad. And even if you by mistake click on notepad or something, it opens that up, but the fonts are like, you cannot understand that as a movie. It is not in the right format. So what you do is basically you download the right player, which has got nothing but the schema, in which that once that file is opened in that particular schema, then it can make sense to you. So you're not defining the schema while writing the data, right? No, your laptop might not have asked for that you should have that player before you open up that particular file. So you don't define the schema first, you download the data and then you define the schema. So there are two types of schema which you are dealing with in majority of the time: schema on read and schema on write. So like structured data is always schema on write, and unstructured data is often which talks about schema on read. Now what are the advantages and disadvantages of unstructured data? So advantages of unstructured data are that it doesn't have a proper format, and it doesn't follow a particular sequence. There is no fixed schema to the data. Data may come in any form, any format. Then data is very much flexible because the schema is not present. It's portable, it's scalable, and you can deal like with this data with many resources, not only one type of resource. You can deal it with n number of resources, and this type of data will have a lot of business constraints, right? When you when you start picking up that data in any of the BI tool or any of the analytics applications, this kind of data creates a lot of problem, but it can be picked up with many tools. It can be picked up with in like either BI or data science kind of tool. What are the disadvantages? So the kind of the advantages you have in structured data and unstructured data, like in unstructured data, they're very much similar to the advantages. It is very difficult to store and manage this unstructured data because there is no schema to it. If you just store that data, you don't know how to recover it back at times, and because it doesn't follow a schema, there is no rows and column kind of format. It's very unclear for us how to open that data and how to make sense out of this data. Now indexing of the data is again difficult. You cannot search for a particular, because indexing is not done. In case indexing is not done, then you are not even sure how to search for a certain information, right, from the data. So for example, the data which is collecting from Twitter or Facebook, you don't know how to search for the right results. And then because you cannot contain that, the data is huge and data is having different schema, you cannot apply security to this kind of data, which is again pretty difficult. Now the problems you faced in storing this kind of data, because it requires a lot of storage, and at times it has got videos, images, audios, URLs, voice memos, and then voice memos and like n number of things. It's very difficult for you to store that data, to analyze that data, to pick it up and do multiple analytics on it. And then again, storage cost is it keeps on getting higher because the data is scalable. So right now you're dealing with 1 petabyte of data. Maybe down the line in 100 days or 200 days, you will be dealing with 2 petabytes of data. And then because the data is being generated like anything, so it's very difficult for us to deal with this kind of data. And again, indexing and everything is very difficult for this kind of data. So there are a lot of problems with unstructured data. However, I would like to tell you that the world's 95% data is approximate 95% data is unstructured data. Only 5 to 6% of data is structured, which means that the total world's data, if you divide them into RDBMS and non-RDBMS storage, then RDBMS holds only 5 to 6% of the data all in all. Rest of the all data is unstructured. Alright, so we understood this unstructured data, and in the next video I'm gonna talk about like semi-structured data. Stay tuned with me. A lot of very good logics are coming up. I will see you in the next video.